Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we would like to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who do rule well.
Shalom.
Alright, peace and blessing to the saints, the Archangel, many the elect virgins on the four corners of the earth. You know, a couple brothers from Great Millstone, Trinidad. You know, brother
Howard.
Howard, brother Yakal, brother Yarodan, and myself, Kwana. You know, through the spirit and power of Ba'ashem Yahushai, you know, coming to do another edificational lesson unto the elect. You know, and without further ado, you know, we just want to go into it. You know, as the spirit hot, you know, we just want to strike with it one time. Right? Start in the book of 1 Thessalonians.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians and start at verse 2, 3, 1 Thessalonians 3 and verse 2. It says, and sent Matthias, our brother and minister of Yahweh, and our fellow laborer in the gospel of Yahushai Mashiach. He said to establish you and to comfort you concerning your faith.
And if I may just say, you know, as we Abarataza being the potential elect, you know, we understand reincarnation. We know Timotheus here. We don't know, you know, we could point fingers and say this is who he is, you know, or here he may be, but we understand that these words here is for our building of our faith. You know. Go ahead.
You continue verse 3. It says that no man should be moved by these afflictions, for yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto.
Can. So you know, so going back into the scripture when I say, because the Lord set us, you know, going back to the scripture we always bring out, you know, my son when they come into this truth, prepare thyself for temptation. You know, so the Lord setting us up to go through this affliction, you know, and hey, the servant then greater than the master. So you know, you go down into the own etymology of affliction, you know, just to get your insight, you know, what brothers that be knowing what is that affliction will be like, you know. It's lucky, yeah. Oh, you know, this lucky, yeah.
And as it says that no man might be moved. You know, that no man might be moved. That no man should be moved by these afflictions. You know, as the brother getting the word. As the brother going into the word affliction here, and there is a key thing, that no man might be moved. Because this thing of ours is each one help one, you know. By different afflictions we go through, another brother might have more experience in that sense, and he might be able to comfort you through the scriptures. You know, vice versa. And that is beautiful because each one teach one along the way. Because these affliction is nothing joyous. You know, and the brother had the definition there. So you could go through it.
Yeah, it's a affliction, misery, sorrow, pain.
Say misery, sorrow, pain. So, you know, at that time, that way Lord wouldn't bring. That affliction Lord wouldn't bring on the way you say in the scripture that the earth haven't seen it before. Because the Lord gonna bring pain on this earth. Because thermonuclear fire is pain, famine is pain, pestilence is pain. Yes, a newly created beast wouldn't bring that pain. You know, so.
And that is the apostle say that too, because the scripture says in Psalm the 17th chapter, Baba Koshaya can get it from Psalm 17 and the second to last verse. You know, deliver me from he which is thy sword. Because before you bring that precept, I just want to read this real quick. This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. So you know, by coming back to the Lord, you know, the Lord carrying us through a correction for disobedient. Alright? So the affliction is correcting us. You know, purging us.
And because you don't even say how shall we have to paraphrase, how shall a man inherit a kingdom without going through the fires? You understand? Meaning, you know, the Lord coming back to give us this kingdom, but He's not just giving us just so. He's not just handing you the kingdom. You had to go through all the fires. You understand? All the hurdles before you reach the position.
Can you had to go through that affliction and just to add with the brother was saying, you just continue to say it here. It's a pain, distress, originally especially self-inflicted. As what the brother said, we had to pay for we sins because it come like we literally do this unto ourselves, we disobey the laws and statutes and commandments. Yeah, about Hashem and Shai. So we had to pay, we had to pay for that what we do.
Can.
Yeah, it's especially self-inflicted pain, mortification, religious asceticism.
Can deal with mortification, you know, you deal with mortify, which is to put to death. You understand? Because that would mortify is to put to death, and when you put into death is really put into the flesh.
Can.
Because even when you go into the word itself and you think about it, you're gonna have to put to death the flesh. You carry, like Brother Howard was saying, you carry focus on nothing in the flesh in that time, man. Because all the suffering that we're gonna be going through gonna be far greater good. Right?
Yeah, and just to add to that, and that is why the Apostle Paul, said to be fully submerged. And to be submerged means to be fully under, because sub means to go under. And that is the spirit that we working hardly to be in, to be fully submerged in the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Because when he went through his affliction, he take it quietly as a lamb. And it's spiritual, because when you're going to kill a lamb don't make any noise. A goat does.
That's why in Great Millstone, the apostles gone down. Teachers has been men of discipline, order, and humility. Know that humility, because you had to have humility to know that you're gonna die far greater good. You present anybody far greater good. Because we're gonna be walking epistles, we're walking powers, walking Elohaims, with everything in our inward part. So we gotta exalt Yahweh Hashem and shout in your mind at that time when you're going through your affliction. Knowing that everything is, as I said earlier on, is a greater good. Because the scripture the brother can bring out here in Psalms 17 and 13, it says, "Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked," which is thy soul, because we know Esau Edom, which is the Lord's soul, gonna bring that affliction also. Because when you go into Revelation, the 6th and 4th chapter, where it say, the Lord gonna give power unto the sword.
You to take peace from the
can't
earth.
take it, so that is because what they're gonna do now, they're gonna bring, and we see it right now, the time we in, that we know we had the last time, we had the last days, we had the time where Revelation is speaking, because they come in with the MOTV, they bringing it new link, they bringing it in your hand, the time we seen Esau is coming now, he will come with that first, taking away your food from your mouth, taking away your labor, and all these things is physically, but spiritually, he is making us, rejoice in Yahweh Hashem, knowing that home almost there, and our home is going back to our rest.
Because that one of the biggest prophecies to take place right now. You understand that MOTV, and when that MOTV take place and everybody realize that it was the RFID, then they will get to understand how serious and the Lord was speaking to you, and you didn't want to answer. Because at a lot of people that they glorify in the flesh, and glorifying the flesh going to lead you along the wrong path, because the path that we on right now is a path where the Lord making sure you know that you have to cast away the flesh. Because everything going to be taken from you in an instant. You understand? Because you have to go to the system for everything, for food, for water, for this, for that. Now the Lord here telling you now, hey, cast away, mortify your members, as the scriptures say, because you're going to get rid of everything. You lost everything. You can't focus on cars, house, your comfortable lifestyle. You're going to have to put all that to death. Because when they bring out the MOTV, you can't flex like you used to flex. You understand? You can't do things like you used to do things. So now that you had the chance, you understand, you had to put away the flesh.
These weekend niggas will be paying stacks of money by the ears and all this shit. Now they're gonna be paying RFID. Like when you take your finger and put it like a cell phone call, that'll show how clumsy these chicks is.
So like about it had a movie. I ain't too sure, but that's a while back, right? It was the person's phone was in the hand.
I think it was a woman. I think it was advertisement.
Advertisement.
Yes, a Jake. You know, she's like, what you do? you know, and you know, she doing such of a speaker within she hands, she palm she hand. You know, so that'll just show you that everything because and I just he saw bring it out, you know, right, he breathe and bowl in front of your eyes, and then after bring it to play, you know, to show you to see the people and them, you know, really, and I mean to test their program to show those style Israel is on hold, you know, because to read Israel don't like to read, you know, to hear the lies is what you support Israel love to hear.
And that's your part because the Lord put you in a position where everybody love the lust of the flesh and everybody glorify in the flesh. This whole world evolves around the flesh, you understand? And we as men of the Lord now, the Lord put us here as, you know, He put us here in fleshly bodies for us to be tried. Because we being tried in this flesh here shows a lot because the men them not going to stand stiffly. It's just they're standing stiffly through everything, you know.
Okay.
All the afflictions, everything that comes here, they try to come to you with money. You pass that test, they try to come to you with, and then the biggest test now, the RFID.
And as you say that, because you said the trials, and to be tried means to be tested. And while we being tried throughout the process of time, when that great test come, the Lord going to cover us. This is the book of Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. What is that hour of temptation? When this, with the brothers and I'm speaking about, the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, alright, tri-star stigma, you know, going to come down on a mandatory scale. Because what he's doing right now is using what? Gradualism. Gradualism. He's taking baby steps towards his major prophecy, which we're looking forward to. Because when that comes to pass, that's going to lead to World War III simultaneously happening, chariots coming through the skies, our Lord on the way.
And going to what you were saying earlier on in the Revelation, the same when Revelation 6 and 4, when it say that you're going to take peace from the earth. So gradually taking footstep by taking peace from the earth.
And you're right. Because, I mean, they ain't going to take a whole pot spoon and just shove it down the mouth.
True.
You know?
One rice green, rice green. Yeah, that's why now. Then he will shove half of the rice green down and should take that. Okay, your mouth don't full it, but he don't full with his philosophies, with his unrighteous decrees, with his unjust laws. You know, all these things. You don't do style to everything with the beast and the image and put forth. So you can be caught up in the bubble and you trying to bust that bubble and it's covered with iron going back into the revived Roman Empire. You don't cover up with that iron already. So we wanna escape. You don't your brain, which is going back into your spirit, don't bar up. You don't bar up with that you know what it's called a cage. Your brain don't have that iron cage around it. So you trying to come out and only loads really the load that you have actually try that key. And we let her key to open and to cut down these iron. It's just through the spirit and it's melting.
Now we scripture saying in St. John chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Because it make you free from these things. And that is why we understand that putting this flesh under subjection, as the Apostle Paul said, you know, not that one has beaten the air. You know, we in this thing beating the air. This thing is about enduring to the end, as you were name your call to endure. You know, because it is a trying thing. And we're going to see some things that the Lord is going to show us. And that's the reason why he told Ezra, you know, cast away from the mortal thoughts in Ezra the 14th, 2nd Ezra the 14th and 14th verse. Because when these things started to happen and these trials started to come upon these people, while we was going through ours and they were laughing and scoffing while we was on the highways and the byways preaching, you know, as the Lord said, you know, by the foolishness of preaching to save them by belief. And by believing, we're going through a trial being cleansed. Being cleansed. You know, as the scripture said, the God of man shall be fully furnished. Fully furnished. Salakia. And that's what being done. So if I could just finish this precept real quick.
And you go jump back into the Islam meanings in the affliction.
That's some precepts that come
into the precepts.
It says, from the hour of temptation which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And that testing coming to them. So them going to fail that test. Because yeah, because what the Lord doing we? What the Lord doing? The Lord preparing we. The Lord preparing we. As in the world, you know, in these so-called churches, you used to hear this song, Lord prepare me to be a sanctuary.
Come.
You know, and that is what the Lord doing us. He preparing us to be a sanctuary, vessels fit for the master's use.
And even goes into the precept where the first precept where you bring out the Thessalonians, because it say to know that you I'm gonna get it back, right? Because they're telling you that it's Thessalonians 3.
Yeah, First Thessalonians, the 3rd chapter.
Right, it says the second First Thessalonians 3 and 3 again. It says that no man should be moved by these afflictions, for yourself know that we are appointed thereunto, meaning that we know that we have to go through these things.
Come.
All these things are pointed unto us. You understand? All these trials are pointed unto us. And for the Lord to give us it's like the Lord giving us a heads up. The Lord telling you, hey, all these things coming towards you. So you ought to prepare yourself now.
Come. That's the concern the precept we were saying earlier, you put earlier on how we can inherit the kingdom, because this earth here was made for our child. Our childs, right? We was made. We the elect is for. The elect was made to be child, right? And this test coming here, this going to be the most the ultimate test, right? The mark of the Miss Jacob trouble.
Because if Yahweh Shai being the writing of Yahweh, and he being tried, who's the elect? Now why you go back to the scripture, you say for them greater than the master.
St. John 15:20.
That's why we're not being tried and we full test state. We're getting tried in the scripture. See the chains are darkness. You understand?
Because these chains of darkness was subject unto vanity. And what vanity goes back to flesh. Sin. And that Romans 8 and 20. You know, for the creature have made subject unto vanity. And that is what we're putting off. We're putting off the immortal flesh. You know? Okay, got any definition of that?
Yeah, continuing here in the meaning of affliction.
What's it?
That's a small thing.
Oh,
it's really mortal flesh.
You can. It says self-mortification, religious asceticism. It's a from old French affliction. It's a act of humiliation.
And this is what the other camps don't have, because I watching a brother pop a video and say this is not how to be. And they was he was railing and ranting and making speaking out loud, and when one of the brother getting locked up by Esau, and you using wisdom, you not agreeing with adversary quickly, and pack up your stuff and move on. You trying to use railing for railing and trying to say, boy, this is the devil, this is this. So you just making the devil more angry to hold you, to cast you and give you and give you a
penance.
A penance which you didn't do. So you come like you being wrongly accused by your actions. So that's just show you that these other camps just buck the fuck up by having, and we say you have AR-15 with TDs on it, with them double the 50 shots in the drum. So he calling old two TDs. That'll show you how these jakes are carnal.
And this, a lot. Just to add to that, the scripture says, and they're going to cast you into prison. So then really and truly, they really do understand the prophecy. Because when you're suffering these things, you're supposed to be glad. You know that these things happening unto you, because these are the things that happened unto the prophets back then. So then these people clearly not in the spirit, clearly not understanding that these things are part of the prophecy and part of the work that we have to go through.
And they warring after the flesh. The Lord already tell us we're not warring after the flesh. This battle that we fighting is spiritual. You understand? So while we fighting that spiritual battle, they fighting a carnal battle. You understand? And that not proven for them to be the saints, because we understand what the Lord say about the saints. You understand? The saints wouldn't be partaking in the carnal warfare at all. And I'm going to go to precept real fast. Right? I did Acts 14 and 22.
Make precept.
It says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. Right? And confirming is one of the biggest words, because you confirm and really goes into reincarnation as well too. The disciples of the Lord will do what the Lord said to do. The elect, I should say, they would do what the Lord said to do.
Abiding in their labors.
Right? And then it says, and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom.
And don't take that lightly. Now you need to take lightly, because now is the time. The brothers quoted right through Revelation 12:12. You know, for the devil shall come down upon you having great wrath. That's the reason why I see all these draconian measures. You know, draconian laws, which goes back to Draco, a man called Draco in the Roman can. Draconian go back to harsh measures, alright, for small things. You know, I just use the mass for an example. You know, so don't take that lightly because he actually coming down heavily searching for the elect. And that's the reason why they have these Olympic games and these things, thinking that the elect is there to see when the power is coming back. But the elect not there, the elect out in the highways and byways. And they would have seen the threat because why? The word of God is sharper than any two-edged sword.
Yeah, not so you're probably what I say because that is sure because when the affliction come in, then you're gonna see the elect. And they're gonna see true power what I was China talking gonna talk like yeah about sure because these niggas gonna be busting a gun behind Esau, which is if King David could say, save me from thy sword. Who is these wicked niggas? You know, because you leading the flocks astray, so you had to be wicked niggas. We went back into Revelation Jeremiah 23. You know, you feed in the flock, you know, to show with that canal way and fight against the flesh. You know, because the Lord say we be harmless as a dove and wise as a serpent. You know, but they not doing that. They trying to show you to war, so you gonna be busting at that. Them we say them two titties. You busting at them two titties, and when they pick up one in your shoulder, you can be calling me oh shy. And they will be crying out to the Lord. The Lord ain't gonna hear, and that will go back to the scripture. I think it's Matthew 22, where the Lord said they will be calling upon the Lord. And the Lord will give deaf ears to them.
Yeah,
you know?
I have not known you. He
I have
workers of
known you.
iniquity.
He can.
Even say I will turn it back and not the front.
Can turn it back and not the front. Because
Baruch, yes, like yeah, Baruch 25, I believe. Baruch 2 and 25.
Oh.
It says Baruch 2 and 25 says, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you. For shortly you shall tread upon the neck of the wicked. You understand?
Yeah, pa.
So you are really patiently suffer in this time in here. Right through the scripture the Lord telling you that. And if they get ready to war, then you know they're not a part of the Lord's elect.
Can.
You did read some concerning humility. You know, Baba Kwasha, someone can get 1 Peter the 4th chapter and Proverbs 15 and verse 33. And I had the Hebrews 12 here because they talk about humility, right? But you will read yours first, Howard. Baba Kwasha. The last verse.
Last verse is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 33. It says, fear Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yoshai, is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility.
Before honor is humility. So guess what? We all had to go through that humiliation because who went through it firstly? Let me see who went through it firstly. This is Hebrews chapter 12. I'll start from verse. I'll go straight to the point. Verse 2. It says, looking unto Yahushua, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross.
Which is the honor.
Come.
Because he knew that after he suffered what he going through, you understand, a joy is set before him, and it's the same thing with the elect. After they suffer what they suffering, there's a joy that's going to be set before them. You understand? I
just want to finish reading out here, Baba Kusha. It says, the cross despising the shame. That was to be humiliated. They told him, if thou be the Messiah, why can't thou save thyself? They spit on his face. All these things they did the Lord.
About one punch here.
Yeah, go quick.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 27. It says, and whosoever doeth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
Come. Whosoever and to follow the Lord means to be joined unto him. And the scripture say we're going to be joined as, you know, and to be a disciple, or the word disciple also goes back to discipline, which also goes back to confounding this flesh. It says, going back to the Hebrews 12, it says, and verse reading on, it says, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is sat down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh. For consider him that endures such contradiction of sinners. So who if he gonna come against us? Sinners. these
Right.
heathens, and 2/3 against himself, lest you be weary and faint in your minds. So these things was written for us to be built up in our minds. You could go read First Peter, Baba Kosha.
Yeah, this is the book of 1 Peter 4, and I'll start from 1. It says, "For as much then as Yahushua had suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same
And that is the
mind,"
key thing. Arm yourself likewise with the same mind.
which is the whole armor. You preparing yourself for what is to come, because Yahushua was preparing himself through
Can.
much fasting and
Can.
praying and talking to the Lord.
Can.
The same thing we had to go through. You understand?
Can.
Arming myself.
And keyword, getting rid of the fleshly things of the flesh. Because the things of the flesh is pulling and talking about to the scripture where it say that they are empty one to another, because you'll be in the spirit right now, and next hour to half an hour, next minute, you can't all. You know, and what I do, that is not balancing the skill, because balancing the skill is true, is really righteousness all the time. Balancing the skill is you using wisdom and knowledge, the stability of your time you're living in, to know how to operate, how to function. You can't say I balance the skill, I being evil and then I being good. That ain't making no sense. You understand? So that's why you alter the balance the skill by using righteousness, by using wisdom, and judging righteously, and making a you bringing a conclusion to every matter that I brother bring up. You ain't using your real for real, and you ain't
Accusation for
can
accusation.
you're being a good listener. You're being, even though a brother may be younger than you, or even he older than you, you take you hear what the brother saying. You just ain't being stubborn and be like whatever he say or whatever it is. You being, because the Lord actually is testing you right there to see how obedient you is, because the Lord dealing with men of order, men of discipline. And I have a scripture, I know you know the scripture talking about the scripture in discipline. When it say discipline is love, you can type up a couple of scripture, because going back to the disciple. So and what love go back to in the scriptures is the commandments. So by you being a disciple, having discipline, which is love, following the laws, statutes, and commandments, so that's why within everything, you had a humility, going back to the word humility. You ought to worship at that foot,
And that love also go back to agape, because the things you wouldn't like be done unto you. Don't do it unto our brother. Speak to myself firstly. And the brother was making a valid point earlier on with concerning the flesh. Even Yahushua was tempted with the flesh, because he prayed and he asked the Father, if it be thy will, if it be thy will, could thou pass this cup from me? That was the flesh kicking. When Peter came against him, he tell Peter, get thee hands from me, Satan, because the Lord was on a mission. So from time to time, the flesh just tried to come in. It's trying to interject, because why? We are subject unto vanity.
And that was a lesson in itself right there where Yahushua went through for us to learn too. You understand? That when that time comes, we had to call upon the Lord alone for his strength, because it say, if you faint in the
If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is weak.
Can.
So there ain't nothing to trust in again but the Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Done. And we'll go back to the 1 Thessalonians 3 and the last verse. If everybody else
Yeah,
we go through it.
and he doesn't pass with that noise. You could pause that way, or push up. Why not? Bring out the finish it out.
Yeah, continuing in the 1 Thessalonians 3. I think that verse 3.
Okay, so the from where? Come to the verse 3, Salakia.
Yeah, can. It say 1 Thessalonians 3 and verse 3, it say that no man should be moved by these afflictions, for yourself know that we are appointed thereunto.
Wow, and that as the no share back in my mind to what I have one of the examples also in the scriptures was Stephen. When Stephen was laying out the laws and telling the scribes and the Pharisees, all the things which were given unto us through the ordinance of the angels, as the Lord have commanded it. They couldn't take it, and what they did. When you read Acts 7 and start from verse 54, you will see that they run upon him in one accord, hating him, started stoning him to death. And then the spirit was so heavy upon him that he saw heaven open. And he said, I see Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai sitting at the right hand of the Heavenly Father. To just imagine that, because a man was speaking righteousness, as the scripture says in Isaiah 59 verse 15, he that departed from evil, make it himself a prey. And that is we, because right now we being a spectacle unto the world. Don't fear we not being watched. We are being watched. We vibration, we spirit.
Yapa, I'm going to precept at some point where you say that, and also Yapa, because a war written, after time was written for our learning. So you see the book of Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 20, it says, shall evil be recompensed for recompense for good? Question mark, it says, for they have digged a pit for my soul. Remember that I stood before thee to speak good for them and to turn away thy wrath from them.
And if you get this pause for a quote, because Jeremiah come preaching good tidings unto Israel. You know, and that way you ask the Lord, that you're going to receive no good for evil. You know, because when you see what Israel was doing in the scripture, in Jeremiah 12 and 8, my people is unto me as a lion on it. You understand? And he said, why I stand before you to preach good to them, Lord. And that's why the Lord tell him about hypocrites on these fucking people.
Because he even continue to say let their blood be poured out. You understand?
So when we go to the highways and we curse now these wicked two-thirds, it's a righteous thing in the sight of the Lord, and righteousness for them and the Lord, because they choose evil over good.
That was true.
They choose rather than light. So we at a time as men of the Lord, you understand, to curse all these fucking two-thirds. You know, let them know their judgment, let them know that you repent or you die, and we'll let you know later for you how you're gonna get put to that same way too. You know, your eyeball gonna be sinking in your head from a nuclear fire. You know how your skin will be melting. You're gonna let you know everything. It'll be like all the final destinations. All these big titties, Judy and big Madam Judy. You gonna be in like your corpse gonna be drying up. You're gonna be swelling and blowing up, and it will be stench. Instead of sweet smelling, you got me smelling stink. You understand?
And now you probably say that because you know in the world it have a song 6 million ways to die, choose one. You know the Lord has so many ways to put these fucking heathens and tutors to that right now.
It's like in the Kingdom of Heaven we gonna have so much movies to watch, because we're gonna be bringing back that how, because you must know some wicked heathens and wicked jakes. You will like to see how them get put to death. So you know you just rewind back that part. You know how them get put to death, and you be laughing with a cold glass of yayan, you know, poured by the heathens, you know, and so your kingdom gonna be so excited for the elect when we ruling, you know.
The part about it going to be the scripture say we're gonna have memorials. We're gonna have the book of Apostle Taha, Apostle Ariamlab, the book of Howard, the book of Yakal, the book of Yaradan, the book of Kona, you know, the book of all these brothers. We're gonna have books, man.
Let them study it. Let them study it.
Then we're gonna be just chilling and just taking that in and enjoying life. You know?
Because that will be rest. After you go through it all, then you could really kick back and you know, talk to your Akiams and your spirit, because that's when you're gonna really know who you was. And then you're gonna know who your Akiam was, and a little reason and say, hey, it was like a dream.
It was like a dream.
It was all a dream. You understand?
Our precept, you had more in Thessalonians?
Yeah.
Finishing up the first one, I brought that precept here, and we'll be time.
Much time? How much?
Yeah,
33.
Yeah, we will close with this precept here.
Yeah. Continuing here in 1 Thessalonians 3 and verse 4, it says, for verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation, even as it come to pass, and ye know.
So now come to my mind is like I hear the God, you know, big brother Elder Rahib, right, talking there, like, you know, for the trend that he bring that foundation into the spirit and power of washing and shy, you know, to wake up. Instead of wake up the men of the Lord, you know, Baka also, you know, who bring that foundation also, you know, so, you know, this is the men who, and I go back to the elect, you know, the ones who pass on and going back in the spiritual realm, actually learn, you know, hey, the afflictions will come in, and to hold patience, you know, and get yourself right, get yourself ready for what is coming. Do just read someone feel that it's not going to happen, it's going to happen.
Can.
So like, yeah,
When you're done.
it's
What
like,
something
you
to be
know,
seen.
because everything you read, you ought to believe. Now, why Lord say, blessed is he
That
that
read it.
that read it, and blessed is he that haven't seen
Seen
but
it.
believe, because we ain't seen what's gonna happen yet. But through the Spirit we're reading, and we actually, while it coming happening, we see it coming to pass.
Through the
Go back,
Spirit we
through
see it.
Can we see it? Yeah, through the Spirit.
Understand?
Can.
Through the
And you-
Spirit we see
When
it.
you finish, you want to know how spiritual that is? Averatus that one who is part of the Lord elect, he was writing to himself.
Can.
And that was the Apostle Peter said in Second Peter the 3rd chapter, I will stir up your mind by your pure mind by a way of remembrance. We was writing to himself.
Can.
You know? We was writing in that time to come and fulfill the prophecies in this time.
True incarnation.
Can, but the Lord, you know, the Lord have his because going back to his captains and the ones who was writing back, going back into the symbol, the 12 tribes, you know, the 12 and the 12 tribes and the captains of the congregation to the 144,000, because on the right hand side of Yahushua, you know, is King David, you know, and going down, he got have his righteous orders, you know, and we don't know that, but the Lord have that in everything is written down. For, you know, through the Spirit, we reach the catch, brother say, you got the book of remembrance, open the book of, you know, brother Yakal, brother Howard, whoever, if it is part of the hopefully elect, you know, at that time we could be knowing everything, how everything function, and how, you know, the plants bloom, how the sun really what power it really created from, like that, the energy
elements.
pushing out
Can,
the
so we
elements.
created the earth.
Yeah, so you get back that kind, you get back that natural power, in a sense, that natural way of thinking, that natural way how we was from the beginning. You know,
And all go
whether-
back to the scripture where the Lord say, for the sufferings at this present time cannot be compared to the blessings of the Lord going and bestow upon us.
Yapa.
8 and 18.
Can. So we'll close with the scripture here in the book of Ecclesiasticus, the Sirach, chapter 35, verse 18. It says, for Yahweh Bashim Yoshai will not be slack, neither can it say, yeah, for Yahweh Bashim Yoshai will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient towards them. It say, let he have smitten in asunder the loins of the unmerciful, and repay vengeance to the heathen, till he have take away the multitude of the proud.
And that is what being done right now, because the scripture says he's going to consume him with the word of his mouth and with the brightness of his coming. He's smitten. Who is smitten? That representing Esau, Edom. Because that is the main people who are going to be destroyed from off the face of the earth.
That's why the scripture go on to say, and broken the scepter of the unrighteous, which is the rulership. He take away that rulership from them and place it in the hands of the righteous rulers.
But some jigs like they wanna start it now. They wanna start the go before Yahushua come. But what the scripture say, vengeance is done by Yahushua. So we gotta wait in Yahushua and he gets shrinking we up.
That why it says that why it says verse 19 said, till he have rendered to every man according to his deeds. So going back into Revelation 22, when it say here that
This is right. You see that is just, see that is filthy.
Even when the Lord say coming back to the earth, every man according to his works.
reward every man.
That's why back when we drew Revelation is nearly every chapter talking about works, right? We do for Abashim Yoshai, that penny. We do that penny. Right? We can't be like the servant who like lead that penny and bury the penny and say, hey, you wanna think? Nah. We had to go and multiply that penny as the Abashim Yoshai tell you to.
That's why the truth is we not here is one, but we not do is the next one. You know, because we gonna be making brothers will be making videos and make a whole video on a topic, and yet doing the same thing after. Where you come like you condemning your own self. So that's why you all everything you say through the Spirit is like you're warning yourself, you're correcting yourself, because firstly you're correcting yourself. That's why after a video what I do, I just curse myself. I actually reproof myself in my videos.
And that is the word. That is the
That is
word
the word.
reproving us.
Can
That is the word
the word
reproving us.
can. You know, so it say and to the works of men according to his devices. So all your devices we make going back into number one, which is one of the Lord army on the left hand side on the earth is the nuclear weapons. You know, because the Lord really give man the understanding, the knowledge, you know, that wisdom to
Split the atoms and-
to bring all these elements together to bring that
Kind of
like
scheme.
like
Yeah,
like
62,
Isaiah 54.
54.
can so it's like 14 warheads in one nuclear. Who, you know, oh gosh, is the Lord. You know,
And
the Lord
that-
the Lord what's the word? Oxford the battle, you say
The Lord muster
the
host of the
host of the
battle.
battle. Can
Can.
so
And select that real beautiful how you say that. You know, to reward them the instruments of their own hands. Because
Can.
guess what? You creating an instrument, right? Which represents the nuclear missiles, which is part of the Lord army, right? To fight war, which Russia is Edom and Babylon is Edom.
Edom.
You know, and
Egypt
they
against
say,
Egypt.
"Can,
Can.
a kingdom. A
Stand
kingdom stand against a
Divided
kingdom divided
against
against itself
itself
shall not
cannot
stand.
stand, can.
So the Lord using you to destroy your own self.
Yapa. The wicked are wicked against the wicked.
Can.
Upon the wicked same way too. So it say right, it say till he have judged the cause of his people and made them to rejoice in his mercy. It say mercy
Select and say you're going to
brother.
judge the cause
Cause.
of his
Cause,
people.
his people, can.
Possessive. And that his people ain't talking about all Israel, they're talking about the elect.
Elect,
Because the
can.
scripture says, it have a scripture saying the elect of Israel.
Can.
The elect of Israel. Because when you read in Romans 11 chapter, it says, if the root is right, if the root is holy, then the branch is going to be holy. And that is how 2/3 of Israel going to come through the loins of the elect. You know? Because if the root is holy, all right, the branches will be holy. And that is how 2/3 of Israel going to be saved, through the elect. That is why the scripture say all Israel shall be saved.
Can.
But it's through the elect.
Can. And here the word punctual and close it here. It says verse 20, it says mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction. It says as clouds of rain in the time of drought. So you know, so with that, if you not expound, can you expound on that same?
Yeah, just to finish it off because remember in the time the Lord said you're gonna take your peace from on the earth, you know? Meaning that you're gonna have a time where you're gonna be feeling like the Lord not dealing with you.
Can.
But all eyes you're gonna be trying.
Can.
You understand?
Now we passed that
We
time.
still, you know,
Right.
still
That time was
pull up.
past. Now the Lord dealing with us.
Can.
Because he gave us what? He gave us his name.
Can.
Understand when the Lord say take your peace from the earth, right? The place gonna be in such chaos, right? That you the little rain that gonna pass for like drought, it's gonna be only for his elect.
Can.
Because the Lord say as his mercy is, as his majesty is,
So is his
his mercy, and that
Can.
he goes in for his elect.
Can. So going back into this Wisdom of Solomon 3:9, the Lord only a case for his elect. So as the brother was saying, you know, when all hell started to break loose, going into that drought, and that little rain will fall, is the Lord servants eating and be can and going after Psalms 91. You know, when we being shielded by we being shielded, you know, by his wings, his chariot, because the Lord said a chariot encamped around those who fame. So
The
all now
angels.
the angels are like the chariots and the angels
Can.
is encamped around those who
Those who
fame.
fame.
So right now as we sit on here, a big chariot could be everybody vehicle could be over us. You know?
Angels could be right in the presence.
It's like Spider-Man, you know, no Iron Man. When Iron Man called for his suit, and if you still don't know, this how these chariots is being chariot over us, and it's like we suit up there, you know, and the spirit down here, you know. So when we get that suit, we complete, you know, we arm up, you know, that we Lord go raise up that standard when the Lord shine a light unto us and give us, and we transfigured through the spirit, you know, to hunt us, you know, transform. So, you know, so I hope this video is edifying through the spirit. We're going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. You know, double honors once again to the elders and the apostles of great mercy rule well. So addition to the Yakim pushing his truth, presenting them with a living sacrifice, you know, hoping to the end. You know, Yahweh Ba'ashem shall bring our mercy to the elect. to the one to Aquats, who being obedient, keyword, being obedient to the husband, with full, order, discipline, until, the next one, who this video will edifying once again, it's time for brothers to be on fire, being focused, through the spirit and power of Yahweh. So, what above all, to Esau and these other hidden nations, above all, who this video edifying again, Shalom.
Shalom, what la pa 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 pa.